Okay, everybody, I just want to do one more sound check. Let me know if you can hear me.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor.
Okay, how's
Please
everybody doing?
buy
You
it
still
now.
got some energy left in the tank? Yeah, there you go, grasshopper. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, good. And how's everybody enjoying what we've been sharing so far? Is it starting to click for you a bit more, starting to make sense, and you see the potential? Okay, good stuff. Well, what I want to do is, Nick said that I'm going to share some secret ninja mindset stuff. And the thing I want to point out is that, Emil, don't worry, we're going to record everything for you, so it's no big deal. But anyway, even though this is mindset stuff, it's not about just some positive thinking, because positive thinking
This file
alone
made by the trial version of Advanced Audio
of course,
Compressor.
it's better to go through life
Please
with a
buy it now.
positive mindset than a negative one, but it's got to go beyond that. Okay, you've really got to. What I want to share with you is more about how you focus your perspective on your trading, how you kind of conduct your life, and then everything becomes a lot easier. So I want to share a quote that I stumbled onto this is actually a relative of Nick going back like 100 generations, Socrates. Okay, so it's the secret to change is to focus all of your energy, not fighting the old, but building on the new. Now, here's how that applies to your trading. And you have to understand that if you're new to trading, that's actually great because, you're kind of a clean slate and whatever we
This file
teach you
made
is
by the
going to
trial
stick with
version
you
of
that much
Advanced Audio
better.
Compressor.
Right? But if you've been trading
Please
for,
buy
say,
it now.
3, 4, 5, 10 years, you probably, you got a lot of knowledge, but you probably also got a lot of preconceived notions about things. You might have bad habits that are hard to break. So really, a lot of what I want to share with you is the kind of, give you new energy patterns. All right, we want to help you break from all the old thoughts and just build on better, more productive, ways of thinking. So how's that sound? You ready to jump in? Okay. Let me just get this slide working here. Okay, let's see.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
All right, this is so perfect. And, it says common sense is like deodorant. The people who need it the most never use it. And this is the interesting thing about life. Whether we're talking about trading or how we conduct our daily life, we overcomplicate everything, all right? Instead of using good old-fashioned common sense, we just don't use it enough. Maybe because it seems so easy, or you think, oh, well, everybody already knows that. But most of the things that are the tips that I'm going to share with you in trading are going to be sort of common sense. You might have heard them in some shape or form, but unless you apply to them in your trading, you're not going to get the results you're looking for. So common sense goes a long way.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
It should be a superpower, okay? And I can absolutely tell you from personal experience of some of the best traders that I've known over the past 20 years, the ones that make the most money consistently, they operate much more in common sense and simplicity versus, being super smart and complex. And so what I want to help you do today is, you don't want to be this guy on the screen. That's not the secret to your trading fortunes, having some big complex formula, all right? You want to keep things simple and clutter-free.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
So you might think, is this guy crazy? You're here at a workshop to learn how to trade, so why am I telling you that you might not want to trade or avoid trading? So let me explain. Now, if you recall yesterday, I showed you that little graph up on the left-hand corner, and it talked about how eventually, after 5 years, only 70% of traders are still at it. So basically, there's a big kind of, very fast and big dropout rate, a big dropout rate. Now, this is something I didn't share with you. I had read somewhere a while ago that based on surveys, the average trader or person gets into this business.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
On average, people will spend $10,000 on a combination of trading, education, and the funding an account. Can you guys just hang on for 1 second? I just heard a loud noise upstairs. I want to just double check to make sure everything is okay. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it sounded like the sky was falling, Kurt. Yeah, but luckily it was nothing serious. Okay, so
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Can you identify with this, spending this type of money? Some people, it's obviously going to be way less, but there's people, way more. Yeah, Farzan said 10 times more, sure. Okay, now here's the kicker, right? Within 2 years, that account will be lost, and the trader will have wasted 2 years of their life and $10,000. Now, that doesn't seem like a very good deal, does it? All that hard work and money, and it's just down the tubes. And, that $10,000 is nothing because I have a good friend.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
$2 million, and for him, he had spent over $200,000 buying every type of product in high-end coaching course you could find. So he spent $200,000 on that, and he had $1 million stock account which he blew out. Okay. It happened over probably like a 5-year period, but everything that could be done wrong, this guy was kind of like the poster boy for it, okay? And I kept trying to get him out of his bad habits, but ultimately he basically violated so many of the rules that I'm sharing with you over the 4-day period here, and so he lost everything. And this was like money that he had saved up working 7 days a week to fund that account. Okay, he blew out his entire...
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
He's never recovered psychologically from it. And I'm sure there's people that have blown a lot more than that as well. So the bottom line is, I'm sharing this with you guys because I don't want you to be one of the statistics. I want you all to make it. And so the way to do that is to kind of lead you into this trading thing with your eyes wide open. There's all kinds of ruts and speed bumps along the road. And so our job is to kind of shine a light on it. And when you can see where all the kind of the potholes are, you can swerve around them. So that's what we're going to get into.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
It's kind of a little speech for the next 20 minutes or so. If you take it to heart, you're going to become more profitable because you're going to once again know what things to avoid. But let's say after you hear what I'm going to say, you decided, you know what, I don't think I should trade. Well, guess what? You're going to save $10,000 that you might blow out from buying all kinds of courses and, the money in your account. And you could take that $10,000 that you would have spent and take your family on a nice holiday, and it's also a lot less painful than trying to tell your spouse why you couldn't make money trading. Okay, and believe me when I tell you that comes from personal experience. It cost me a divorce, okay, because I was in that situation, okay, having to explain why, after.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it
I
now.
want you guys to be, in this number 2, situation. I want you to make it. But for some people who don't come into this with their eyes wide open and aren't realistic about it, they would have actually been better, and I'm not being kind of funny about this, they would have been better doing anything else but trading and, just kind of having, a holiday with that money. Can people understand what I'm saying on that one? Yeah. And to give you like kind of a practical example, like a young guy.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
And he basically wanted to know, he said that, listen, I hear that 90% of people lose money trading. He says, is that true? And he said, how much can I expect to make? And, I wanted to be honest with this guy. Okay, I didn't want to paint a rosy picture. I said, yes, that's certainly true. I said, not a lot of people make it, and it takes time. And I said, listen, how much you make is more reflective on how much you have in your account. I said, listen, if you have a $100,000 account and you make 5% a month, then, you can live off of that. But I said, if you have a $5,000 account and you're only making 5% a month, you can't.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Get your degree, get settled in, really start making some money, saving it, and then in a few years, if you feel like dabbling into the Forex trading, then you're better off to do it. Okay, so there's just some people, it's better to not have them focus chasing the money early on, and then they can come back later and, give it a kind of a go. Okay, so this is something I heard, probably a few months ago. There was some guy, he had made hundreds of millions of dollars, like he was an entrepreneur, and he had this great advice. He was an older guy, I think probably in his 60s, 70s, somewhere around there. So lots of.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
The thing that usually, there's 2 things that usually cause people to fail in a business, regardless of what you call it. He says people either have their head buried in the sand or buried up their ass, okay? And he said basically what he meant was that people either they bury their head somewhere because they're too afraid to kind of ask the hard questions, to really open their eyes and see what's going on so that they can fix it, okay? So this pertains to trading, okay? When there's problems, it's you just got to face it, head on, see where the obstacles are, and then, once again, you just kind of steer around them. So just a little thing to keep in mind, all right? It's all.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Okay. I'm going to get into actually some of the reasons why you either want to avoid trading, and once again, this is not to actually get you guys to quit trading. It's to get you so that you know what you're getting into, okay? Eyes wide open, all right? By you understanding fully what you've signed up for, then you're going to make it. So we've talked about this a bit, but don't trade if you're just out to make fast money. It doesn't work that way, okay? There's actually, like, in trading, there's very little get rich quick. It's more like get rich or get poor quick, right? So you don't want to be into that type of situation. And here's the thing about trading. When you first get in, it seems easy on the surface.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Quite as easy as you thought, all right? There's a lot more to it than, what's on the surface. So the reason I bring this up is because you've really got to be prepared to dedicate yourself for a couple of years. Otherwise, you're going to waste your time. Make sense, everybody? Yeah, I think that, me asking that question is more dedicated to the newer people, because if you're brand new, once again, you see all the advertisements and it sounds so easy. You put the piece of software in, you study for a week or something, and then that's it. But it takes time.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
When you go to college, all right, college is usually a 3-4 year degree. All right, and that's not even counting then if you want to do like a postgraduate type of thing or a doctorate. But you don't show up at college on day one and expect that, say, maybe a couple months later they're going to give you the diploma and just say, okay, you're done. Okay, you can kind of skip forward the 4 years. All right, but I think this is what happens with trading, is that people get into it and somehow they don't realize that it's probably going to take 2, 3, 4, or 5 years to actually get good at it. Okay. Now here's the thing. The strategies that Nick and I share, we can teach you the basics in an hour or two, but where the real learning comes in.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor.
Right?
Please buy it now.
The more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Okay. So bottom line, once again, you got to put in your time. You got to pay your dues. There's no way around it, and you got to be patient. Okay, you got to. This is kind of, we all want to make the money quick, but patience is more important than anything. And like anything, you got to persevere. You got to stick with it. And it's just like, look what happened with Nikos. He could have easily given up. Okay, he could have thought, wow, I didn't get rich on that one trade like I thought. He could have buried his head in the sand and just, moved on to something else. But if it wasn't for him being patient and having the right mindset and just kind of keep going, we wouldn't all be together from all corners of the world on this call today.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
And I've already talked about it, but it's just a reminder again. Don't believe the hype, okay? It doesn't work that simple, So if you're gonna, if you want to believe that hype and you're gonna buy all that stuff, you're better to not trade at all, okay? And I kind of equate it. It's like, in the USA, sometimes we've had these huge lotteries. Some of them I think have gone up to like 800, 900 million, and I'll buy a ticket when the number gets really big. But it's a fun fantasy to daydream about making all that money, but it's highly unlikely. So, and it's the same way when you start daydreaming about these robots.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Okay, this reason too is, I can't stress this enough. You can't have unrealistic expectations. And I think part of the reason people have unrealistic expectations is because of the advertising. Once again, like I showed you yesterday, the people would show how they made $900,000 this year and $100,000 last month. So it creates these unrealistic expectations. And also what happens too is there's kind of a lot of smoke and mirrors going on. A lot of times you'll see people say, oh, we turned 500 into 10,000, but what they don't tell you is that they were, risking 15, 20.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
And because they were trading so aggressive, they were able to kind of turn that small amount into a very big amount. But what you don't know is maybe 5, 10 trades later, they gave it all back because the leverage got too big. So you have to be very careful when you see these big claims. Another one, similar is, if you got a $500 account, you're not going to make $100 a day. Yes, you could do it taking a lot of risk, okay? But think about it. $100 a day in a $500 account is a 20% return. Now you think about some of the most successful investors of all time, like Warren Buffett, right? Guy has made, he's worth, 50 or 60 billion, and he's made fortunes for his clients. But
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
But when you do that over like 60 years, it just gets massive. It just keeps compounding. So it's kind of unrealistic to expect to make 20% in a day when some of the biggest, investors in the world make 30% a year. Now, keep in mind that people like Warren Buffett, they don't trade with the massive leverage that's, that you can use in like Forex trading. But you just have to be more realistic. Okay, don't think you're going to outperform all the fund managers just because you got into trading for a few months. So the simple solution is you set yourself small, achievable goals. So tell yourself,
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor.
For 2 weeks.
Please buy it now.
And then once you have that under your belt and you can comfortably do it, then maybe say, you know what, now I'm going to try to make 15 pips. Okay, or it might even be I'll try to make 12 pips, whatever. Give yourself very small, achievable goals, and then you're going to find that it's very painless, and you're going to keep having more and more confidence. So that's definitely a good way to go. Another thing you can do is start trading small. Prove to yourself that you can win with a small amount. In other words, like one mini lot, or it might be even one micro lot. And then when you can keep making money with that small lot size after a month, then you go to 2. Once again, it's going to be a lot easier, and you're going to believe that you can do it because you've proven to yourself that it is possible, okay?
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Or maybe it's 0.25%, it doesn't matter. And do that for 30 days, and then set yourself a very small goal, a little bit higher, okay? Does it sound good, guys? Do you think you could do something like that? Would it make it more manageable? It takes the pressure off, too, because once again, if you're thinking about making these crazy numbers that you see on the internet, you feel like, well, maybe somebody else could do it. Maybe they have the right software tools. So it seems impossible. But by doing this, you realize, yes, you can do it. Yeah, and Anthony said in the chat box, hey, it takes the pressure off for sure.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Like Nico said, it's just a numbers game. In other words, if you trade, let's say you have a $50,000 account, well, you add a couple more zeros, and all of a sudden you have a lot more money in that account. So it should take no more effort to make more money. It's just how many zeros in your account. And once you can prove that you can make money on an account with only 1 zero behind it, then you can go to 2, 3, 4, and then you get to the point where Nico says where you are managing millions of dollars, and it's not a big deal. Okay, it's just kind of doing business as usual. Okay, and then for all those people that know Tony Robbins, he's very famous motivational speaker.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
He's been saying this for 30 years. He said there's no unrealistic goals, just unrealistic time frames. Okay, so if you want to make $1 million, think about it. Write it down in your journal. Tell yourself you're going to make $1 million. The only thing you don't want to do is set an unrealistic time frame. If you're starting out with a $1,000 account, say, listen, I'm going to do it in 10 years or something like that, but don't tell yourself you're going to do it in a year or 2 years, okay? So once again, you can achieve anything you want, but you have to have realistic time frames. And then the little thing I like to quote up here is the path to success is to take massive, determined action. And that's so important because a lot of times we think if we're just kind of always busy running.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
You have to take really like a massive amount of focused action. Okay? So in other words, so when you go into trading, you've got to be super focused on everything you need to do from the time you're doing your analysis, from the time you're in the trade, when you get out of the trade, you always have to know what you're doing. And as long as you stay focused on that, that's going to get you where you want to go. And I can't say, I sorry, I can't say it enough, but if you applied this one little quote to your whole life, everything would change just by taking incredible amount of focused action on everything you do. And really the cool thing about
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Getting better at a sport, maybe getting better learning a musical instrument. Maybe you do other businesses like I don't know, real estate investing or whatever. But when you kind of master these philosophies, it kind of helps everything rise. How many of you, if you've been at trading at any time at all, have heard this statement up above? Don't trade if you're struggling to pay rent or put food on the table. Quick show of hands. Yeah. If you've been at trading any time at all, you know
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Maybe it isn't the fact that you're not going to be able to, put food on your table or pay your rent, but you're still trading with scared money. It's like Nick talked about just a little while ago. It's like people really get focused on the wrong thing as they think, oh my God, like I'm risking $20 or $200 on that trade. So when they get that mindset, it puts fear in them. They get scared. They actually are trading scared money. So you have to be very careful. So on the most basic level, if you're looking, if you're really in financial, desperate situation, trading is not the way to go. Okay, initially, you've got to get yourself stable. You don't want to be worrying about, how to put a roof over your head.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Have the pressure, okay? But if you're worried about paying the rent, it's like every trade you take is life or death, and it's almost impossible to make smart decisions. Emil, the EAs are going to be posted. The first EA will be posted tonight, okay? That'll be in the members area. Okay, so, once again, if you're really kind of looking, to make the quick money to kind of solve all your financial situation, don't trade, okay? You come back to
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
And you really want to, when you start investing in the markets, you want to have a amount of money, whatever that number is, whether it's 2,000, 5,000. Where if you lost it all tomorrow, you wouldn't lose sleep over it. That's the best kind of way to trade. Okay, that's actually going to help you perform much better when you don't worry about it anymore. I already talked about this, but once again, if you think there's a $97 robot that's going to put a pile of money into your account, you don't want to be trading. Okay, it's just a lot of these robots, maybe they work for a couple of weeks, a month or two, but they end up blowing up. All right.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
There's actually ways that they can program them to create the illusion that they worked by all this kind of fancy manipulation of the kind of the performance curves. So you got to be very aware, and it's if the robot really did what it said, like I said yesterday, if the robot really did work, you could sell it for $100,000. Okay, people would pay it because when you can get those kind of massive returns, it's worth it, right? So if it's $97, the only person getting rich is the guy that sold 20,000 copies of it. Okay, so always keep that in mind. And as they say, if it's too good to be true, then it is.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
You want to kind of get rich on a slow, steady path over like months, years, and decades, that's the only way you're going to make serious money. And it's like Nick talked about a few minutes ago. He found the get poor fast version, okay, because he unfortunately got bad advice and he put all his money onto the one trade. So, you have to be very careful about wanting to get rich quick. Bottom line is, realistic expectations are the way to go, all right? Even more so when you're a novice. And the reason I say that is because if you've been around the block for a while trading, then you know.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
This one seems like common sense. Don't trade if you're afraid of taking losses. Okay? And this is a great quote by Robert Kiyosaki. He said, losers are people who are afraid of losing. Okay? Now let me ask you, who here likes to lose? And I'll be the first one to raise my hand. Yeah, nobody in the right mind would like to lose, okay? But the thing about,
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
So here's the thing, the reason it affects trading so much when you hate taking losses is 3 things can happen to your trading. You keep studying and demo trading for months. And I've known people that have demo traded for years and they never took a real trade. So a lot of wasted time. The second thing that happens is when people lose money, or because of the fear of losing money, they're trying to figure out every zig and zag in the market that could possibly happen ahead of time. So that way they can avoid losses. So what they end up doing is they keep buying more and more courses, okay, because they hope that if they have enough information somehow...
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
A course that just anticipates everything, all right? And then another thing that happens is if you don't like taking losses, you're going to have trouble like taking your trades or executing your system correctly because that fear is going to make you second-guess yourself and exit trades prematurely. I talked about that a little bit yesterday about exiting trades prematurely, but it's kind of a vicious cycle. You don't want to lose money, so you're fearful. Then you start actually making mistakes and doing all the wrong things. And I know yesterday a lot of people could identify with that whole thing about getting out of trades and second-guessing themselves. And I bring this up once again because
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Be your cup of tea, okay? Does this make sense, everybody? Once again, I'm not trying to discourage you, but I'm trying to get your eyes wide open so that you know what you signed up for. And just by simply, knowing what you signed up for, you're going to do better. Okay, this is a big one. You don't want to trade if you think that it can be boiled down to an exact mathematical science. Now, trading, despite what you might think, because there's all these fancy-looking software and charts and there's all this data online, it's not rocket science.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor.
Let me just go to this next
Please
slide.
buy it now.
Because the bottom line is, any market, I don't care if you're Forex trading, if you're trading Bitcoin, stocks, options, futures, it doesn't matter. They can only go up, down, or sideways. They all zig and zag at different times. Sometimes they trend. Sometimes they have double bottoms, double tops. But the patterns are universal, and it also doesn't matter whether you're looking at a 1-minute chart or a 1-month chart. You still see all that up, down, and sideways movement. And the reason you'll always get these patterns, and it'll never change, is because the markets, they're driven actually by fear, greed, and emotion. That's what causes the patterns in the market.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Weird stuff, that fear, the greed, the emotions. This is what makes the market so challenging. Okay, so because the market isn't driven by logic, you can't figure it out ever completely. It'll never boil down to exact science. You look at like physics. There are certain properties in physics that can't change because they are disproven and they don't change. Okay, but it's not the case in trading. And you think about it. How many times have you seen a market report come out, whether it's a stock or the Forex, and it seems very bullish, so you think you're going to jump in and buy, and what happens? It does the exact opposite.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
It starts going up like crazy, so the markets don't move on common sense or logic all the time. But the thing that makes it extra hard is sometimes they do move on logic, but you never know when it's going to happen and when it's not. So once again, the bottom line is, the markets will never be totally logical, and even if you study for the next 100 years and you could buy $1 million of software and programs, you're never going to be able to decipher everything in the markets, okay? Now, this one is kind of similar, and I know that
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
And stuff like that. But the thing I want to tell you is that regardless of whether you have a genius IQ, okay, it doesn't matter in trading. Okay, it doesn't give you an edge, and it actually drives people crazy because, let's say you've been to school for, 4-8 years, you've got some kind of fancy degree. Well, it means you are very intelligent and smart for that thing. But unfortunately, it doesn't translate into trading. As Nick talked about a little bit about it, the market is the boss. It doesn't care who you are, how smart you are. It does what it will do. And another reason...
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Overcomplicate things. It's just, seems like it might work in other parts of life, but in trading it doesn't do it. Anybody here like to kind of overthink things? Yeah, everybody does. Okay. The question in chat box, Joe asked, why do investment banks ask for grad students from top universities? Well, it's a good question, Joe. And the interesting thing is that you have all these investment firms that manage billions of dollars, and the majority of them can't even make 10% a year. So it goes to show you that education means nothing.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Programmers that are geniuses and get paid like $1 million a year, but they still have trouble beating the market indexes. So being highly educated doesn't give them an edge. yeah, there you go. That's a picture of me when I was really young. And this is the interesting thing, too, is that, as I had mentioned, I've been coaching people from around the world since 2003, and I've got a chance to work with hundreds of people personally, great people, all kinds of education levels, and I can tell you that I've seen people, a wall of diplomas and stuff like that, and they still got their butts kicked by the market.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
If I could go through all this very difficult study for 8 years, why can't I make this work? All right. But as I said, the markets are often driven by irrational emotion, okay? So logic is not going to be able to figure that out. So really, at the end of the day, all you can hope for is have a simple system, okay, like the one you're learning here, and you just keep applying it over and over again, and that's going to, by just using one system over and over again, you're no longer going to have to think about, you know, all the crazy things that happen in the market, because the idea is you just want to catch enough good trades and use your money management, and that's going to help.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Okay, would anybody like to have this kind of trading setup? Some people said yes, some people said no. Okay, all right. Yeah, most people say no. I mean, you look at it, and it's really cool. You know, it's like the space shuttle, right, or NASA control. It looks very impressive. A quick little side story. Back when I was first starting to coach people, and I was living in Los Angeles, I got a call from a guy.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
You know, maybe I can work with you. So I go to this guy's house in Beverly Hills, and he lives in this big mansion. Okay, there was God knows how many rooms. It looked like a small palace. So he says, come on into my trading room, and first we go through this like massive like English library, all right, which was really cool by itself. And then he opens another door, and he had this big trading room, and he had 32 monitors in there. Okay, now at the time, this was back in early 2004, I think. So it was even more impressive because we didn't have all this cheap, technology available. So he had spent a fortune on this trading room, and my jaw dropped. I was like in
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
At the time, about $100,000 of equipment because he had endless rows of computers and he bought the best of everything. Okay, he was still only making about 20% a year, which isn't bad. Once again, most money managers can't make that, but he was really stressed because he couldn't break through that level. So I bring that up is because this guy was very wealthy. He had all the best equipment, but he was still hitting a plateau, and he thought the equipment was going to be the answer, but it wasn't. Okay. And it's kind of normal to think that, more technology is going to help you. So, back when I started in the early 90s, there was basically no internet. It wasn't.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Like this kind of trading platform, and I think it was almost $400 a month. It ran off your cable TV, and you basically only got like one type of chart. It was an open, high, low, close bar, and there was about 3 or 4 indicators on there. That's all you had way back then. Okay, but it was still so impressive. So the thing about it was that here we are, a couple decades later, and we've now got like access to thousands of indicators online. There's, a gazillion programs you can buy. There's all kinds of high-tech software available, but the statistics have not changed. In other words, there's still only about 10% of people able to make a living off trading. So
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
To be able to trade properly. Now there is an exception. Okay, you don't want to scrimp too much. In other words, you don't want to be trying to trade if you're serious about this off your iPhone or like your tablet. You need a decent setup, a big monitor. I'm actually going to talk about that in another talk. But don't go into trading thinking you got to overdo it. That's not the secret. And so as I already said, it's all these kind of cool gadgets we have doesn't give you the edge They do make our life easier, but they're just a tool, and it's how you use
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
This is on a similar vein. As I said before, if you don't like losing money, well, you've also got to trade. You got to be a risk taker, okay? And the thing about it is that a lot of people are wired. We don't like to lose. So when we get down to it, we actually hate losing more than we love winning. Does that make sense? Can anybody ID that? Yeah, sure, we all want to win, but actually we fear losing more. And now if I was sitting in a live, like if we're all sitting in the actual classroom together and I could see...
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
All jump up and wave your hand, all right? But if I told you, okay, well, to make that $1,000, you got to be risking $250 in every trade, I wouldn't see as many hands go up, because all of a sudden now it becomes very real. The fear kicks in because now you're thinking, oh, God, I got to lose $250. It's not a fun thing to think about. So, yeah, it's a cliche, but no risk, no reward. And, it's kind of, you got to have a bit of guts, okay? And you have to become very comfortable with the risk. There's no way around it. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Anil said, could you please talk about actual live day-to-day process of analyzing, waiting for entry, and actually entering? Well, a lot of what I'm talking about is going to help you improve that. Okay, Nick's going to talk more about how to do that day in, day out, and the software is going to help you do it, and the strategy is going to tell you what you should be doing on a day-to-day basis. But the thing about all these things I'm sharing over the few days is if you don't do what I'm talking about, you're not going to succeed, because you're going to start having a lot of holes in the way you approach your trading on a day-to-day basis.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
If you're not... So coming back to like taking risks, if you're a person that just, you can't stomach risk, you kind of, makes you feel sick to the stomach, trading might not be for you, and that's okay. You got to be wired, a certain way. You don't have to necessarily have ice water running through your veins, but you just have to accept the reality to know that you have to take some risk to make money. There's just no way around it. And it's this little, sign here says that you have to go into taking risks, know that you could fail, but you might succeed beyond whatever you've dreamed, okay? And I don't know if Nick, think about it, if he didn't have the guts to take a risk.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
And he's probably gotten a lot further than he even dreamed possible now, so just keep it in mind. And I love these little, kind of little things they call the memes with these sayings. It says, if you avoid the possibility of failure, you eliminate the opportunity for success. So really think about that. And what I advise you do is, we've all got screensavers on our TV or on our computers. Like I have 3 computer monitors, and I found a lot of these little slogans, and I put them into a slideshow, and they change every minute. And it's a great thing so that...
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
A particular time I'm feeling a little bit down about something, a little frustrated, and then all of a sudden I'll see one of these things pop up and it kind of resets my brain. So find ones that really resonate with you, because just one of them can change your whole outlook, all right? So it's very, very important. And actually, one other comment I want to make about it, Neil, he wanted to know about the actual, live day-to-day processes of analyzing stuff like that. And that's a fair enough a question, but that's actually kind of a little bit of a sticking point for people.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
How do I get in? How do I get out? What are the indicator settings? But they're actually only a fraction of the process. Okay, trading is 20% actual technique and 80% mental, and it always is that way. And I've seen some of the best traders that use the most simple systems, okay, but it's because of the way they think that allows them to be successful. Okay, and this is just wrap this up real quickly here. You've noticed here that I haven't painted trading with a rose-colored set of glasses, right? I'm not going to sit here and have jump up and down and say you're going to make $100,000 in the next month. And
this file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Okay, some people, depending on your experience or lack of it, it's going to be steeper than others. Okay, but don't worry about that. Anything worthwhile, it's going to take some time, but we're going to help you get through all the speed bumps. A comment in the chat, Bill said, hard part of this is having to watch for days and days and weeks sometimes to wait for a setup. Okay, that's, yeah, Bill, there's no way around it. Unless you're day trading where you're looking at 1 minute or 5 minute charts, you have to be patient. Okay, but, you've got to look at it like, a lion in like the jungle. Sometimes they'll sit there for a day without moving, and they're only going to strike once. Okay?
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor.
Yeah.
Please buy it now.
You just got to wait. All right. And the thing about it too is, this is not like going into the Las Vegas casino where 24 hours a day you can find a place to gamble and always have action. This is not like that. This is not a casino. Okay, it could be. You could be trading every minute if you want, but to get the big trades, especially if you're swing trading, they don't set up all the time. So you got to be patient. All right, and keep in mind that the live account that Nick has been showing you for a 1 year period. Okay, he made like 800,000+ for his clients. It was only, I believe, about 35 trades, somewhere like that, so not a lot of trades, but, the results speak for themselves.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
And one last thing I want to talk about is that, you've got to have a passion for this, okay? If once again, if you were to get into it just because you're looking to make some quick money, it's going to be tough. You got to love this. You got to like all the kind of the bumps in the road. You've got to just love looking at charts for hours, all right? And it's the only way, kind of really, I still get as big of a kick here. We are 20+ years firing up the charts and looking at patterns as I did. So I have never lost that for some reason. It just looks so cool.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
If you use some common sense, you apply patience, and you just keep practicing, and you just stick with it. This is going to work, okay? And you certainly don't have to put in like 20 years like I have, or Nick's been 16, 17 years as well. We're going to cut the learning curve way down, but you do have to put some effort into it. Okay, this is, does anybody remember this classic movie? With Sean Connery. Does anybody remember what this was? Anyone?
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
And it's a classic movie now, but Sean Connery was like in the police force, and he was, I don't know, a detective or something like that, but they were battling, I think, Al Capone or the mob, okay? And his younger partner was Andy Garcia, and they knew that they were kind of going to a life or death battle, and they knew it was going to be tough. And Sean Connery said to Andy Garcia, what are you prepared to do? How far are you prepared to go to, not get killed and kind of, I guess, bring in Al Capone. So it's the same thing for trading. You've got to ask yourself, what are you prepared to do? Are you prepared to put in the time and the energy?
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
So you always ask yourself, are you prepared to go the distance? Bill, Bill asked about a good trade copier. I'm not sure about that, to be honest. Okay, you'd have to kind of look online. I don't think for the way Nick manages money, they use a trade copier. Because it's an actual fund, I believe all the money is pooled together. Neil said, does the fun watching charts come after a long time when you start anticipating certain patterns? Yeah, the more time you put in, you almost have like...
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
More like slow motion, and it's more gratifying because you kind of know what's happening. It doesn't mean you know how the trade is going to end up, but you at least can easily see it, okay? So that's it, guys. That's all I have for you today. Once again, this was not to discourage you or anything like that, but it's to get you to think clearly and to maybe have you think about trading in a little different light, because this is one of the little things I share with you. That might be your light bulb moment. And then for those of you who come in late, we're going to be posting the EA later today, okay? And then we're also going to be posting the video as well. Okay, guys, I know we've been here 2.5 hours, so we've...
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.
Okay, everybody, have a good day or good night, depending where you are. Okay, you're welcome, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, everybody, have a good night. We'll see you.
This file made by the trial version of Advanced Audio Compressor. Please buy it now.